When we look at Johannes Vermeer's girl with a pearl earring, our eyes may first go to her face. We notice the quiet turn of her head, the soft light on her skin, and the dark space behind her. Then, almost naturally, our eyes move to one tiny object near the side of her face. The pearl. It is small compared with the whole painting. It is not in the center of the canvas. It does not have many details. And yet, it feels strangely important. So why does the pearl feel so real? Why does this small drop of light seem to hold the whole painting together? To understand that, we should first look at how simple the painting really is. There is no detailed room behind the girl. There is no window, no table, no landscape, and no dramatic story happening around her. Vermeer gives us only a figure, a dark background, a blue and yellow headscarf, a softly lit face, and one shining earring. Because there are so few elements, every small detail becomes more powerful. In a crowded painting, a pearl might simply be one decoration among many. But here, the darkness removes almost everything else. The background does not distract us. It creates silence around the figure. And inside that silence, the pearl becomes much easier to notice. This is one reason the pearl feels so vivid. It is not only painted by light, it is also framed by darkness. The dark background works almost like a stage. It pushes the brighter parts of the painting forward. Her face becomes luminous because it is surrounded by shadow. Her lips appear soft and moist because they catch small touches of light. And the pearl shines because it sits between the pale collar below, the shadow behind it, and the warm skin beside it. In other words, the pearl does not work alone. It belongs to a system of light. Vermeer leads our eyes from the face to the lips, to the collar, and finally, to the earring. Each bright area supports the next one. The pearl feels real because it seems to receive and reflect the light that already exists in the painting. But here is the surprising part. When we look closely, the pearl is not painted with many details. It is not carefully outlined like a jewel in a modern photograph. It does not have a clear metal hook. It does not have a complex surface. In fact, the Moritzschuis explains that the pearl is probably too large to be real, and that Vermeer created it with only a few touches of paint. This is what makes the painting so fascinating. The pearl feels real from a distance, but when we move closer, we see how little information Vermeer actually gives us. There is a bright highlight near the upper part. There is a softer reflection below, which suggests the white color. Between these two marks, our eyes complete the rest. Vermeer does not describe the pearl fully, he suggests it, and the viewer's mind turns that suggestion into a round, shining object. This is one of the great powers of painting. A painter does not always need to show everything. Sometimes, the most convincing effect comes from showing just enough. The pearl feels round because the highlight tells us where the light hits. The lower reflection tells us that the surface is curved and glossy. The dark surrounding area tells us that the object is separate from the background. With only these visual clues, our brain understands the pearl as something smooth, reflective, and three-dimensional. This is not just decoration, it is visual intelligence. Vermeer understood how light behaves, but he also understood how viewers see. He knew that our eyes do not need a full explanation. They only need the right clues in the right places. The same skill appears in the girl's face. Her face is not sharply drawn with hard lines. The transition from light to shadow is very soft. Her cheek, nose, and mouth are modeled with gradual changes of tone. This softness makes the face feel alive, but it also prevents the painting from becoming too detailed or heavy. The face feels smooth, the lips feel moist, the eyes catch light, and the pearl repeats that same idea in a smaller, brighter form. This is why the pearl does not feel separate from the painting. It feels like the final note in a larger pattern. The light on the face is gentle and broad. The light on the lips is smaller and more delicate. The light on the pearl is the most concentrated. It is almost like Vermeer takes the softness of the whole image and gathers it into one tiny point. That tiny point becomes unforgettable. Another reason the pearl feels real is contrast. The girl's skin is warm and softly blended. The headscarf has stronger colors and looser paint. The white collar is brighter and more solid. Against all of these surfaces, the pearl has its own special identity. It is not skin. It is not cloth. It is not shadow. It is a reflective object. Vermeer helps us feel that difference without explaining it directly. He changes the way the paint behaves. The skin is soft. The fabric is broader and more schematic. The pearl is brief, bright, and concentrated. So the pearl becomes a lesson in material. It shows us that light does not look the same on every surface. On skin, light spreads gently. On lips, it glimmers with moisture. On cloth, it breaks into folds and small accents. On a pearl, it gathers into a small, shining mark. This is why the painting feels so refined. Vermeer is not simply painting objects. He is painting how light changes when it touches different things. And this is also why the pearl feels more important than its size. Physically, it is tiny. Visually, it is powerful. It sits near the edge of the girl's face, but it balances the entire image. Without it, the painting would still be beautiful, but something would be missing. The bright point of the earring gives our eyes a place to land after looking at the face. It creates a quiet, visual rhythm between eye, mouth, collar, and pearl. The pearl also deepens the illusion of space. Because it appears to hang beside her neck, it helps us feel the turn of her head. It tells us that the figure has depth. It suggests the space between her cheek, her ear, her collar, and the darkness behind her. Again, Vermeer does this with very little. A few marks of paint create not only a jewel, but a sense of position, surface, and light. That is why the pearl feels so real, not because it is painted with perfect detail, but because it is painted with perfect restraint. Vermeer leaves out almost everything unnecessary. He does not force the illusion. He lets the viewer participate in it. We see a highlight, a reflection, and a shadow. Then our mind creates the pearl. And maybe this is the quiet genius of Girl with a Pearl Earring. The painting is famous for its mystery, its gaze, and its silence. But its power also comes from technique. It comes from how carefully Vermeer controls light, how softly he models the face, how he uses darkness to create focus, and how he turns a few small brushstrokes into something that feels alive. The pearl is not the largest part of the painting, but it teaches us how to look at the whole work. It shows us that realism is not always about adding more detail. Sometimes, realism comes from knowing exactly what to leave out. And in that tiny, shining earring, Vermeer gives us one of the most beautiful illusions in art. A small mark of paint becomes light. Light becomes a pearl. And the pearl becomes the detail that makes the whole painting feel real.